Hello Math 9s. Here's our video on dividing a polynomial by a constant. Notice you should have this sheet that we use to multiply and divide polynomials using algebra tiles. Obviously today we should be using the divide side of the sheet. A lot of people have problems with dividing using algebra tiles because they don't follow the instructions and they try to do it the same way as multiplying. So please follow the instructions on the dividing side and this will be easy for you. Okay, so notice it says step 1, we need to count out the tiles that we're dividing. So for our question here, we're dividing 8 by 2. So we need to count out 8 because that's what we're dividing. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, step 1 done. There we go. So there's our step 1. Now step 2 says draw the left and top edge of the rectangle. Use the algebra tiles to measure and label the number you are dividing by on one of the sides. Okay, so let's draw our left and top edge. There we go. And we're dividing by 2. So I'm going to label one of these sides as 2. Okay, step 2 done. Step 3, complete your rectangle with tiles. Label the other side of your rectangle. Okay, so we need to make a rectangle where one of the sides is 2. Oh, I should mention, if you guys are doing this virtually, you can go to mathclips.ca. They've got great virtual algebra tiles. And if you go to the second half of the MA9 5.5 video, that'll give you instructions on how to use the mathclips.ca algebra tiles to do this stuff. Okay, here we go. Here's my rectangle I have made out of my 8 tiles. Notice it has to be a rectangle, not an L or a whatever other shape. And now I need to label the other side. So that's 1, that's 1, that's 1, and that's 1, and that's extra. Okay, and now it says step 4, the side of the rectangle you labeled in step 3 is your answer. So here we go. That's the side of the rectangle I labeled in step 3. So we find out that 8 divided by 2 equals 4. Okay, obviously we don't need to use this for numbers, but it's a good way to get you guys started and figure things out. You guys should be drawing in where the tiles used to be now for your notes. I'm not going to do that because it's a waste of time. Okay, next one. 6x divided by 2. So step 1, count out the number or the tiles that we're dividing. In this case, we're dividing 6x by 2. So we're dividing 6x. So there's my 6 green French fries. Okay, step 2, need to draw the left and top edge. I'm going to start this way over at the left-hand edge of the page because I know that it's going to take up a lot of space here. There we go. Okay, so there's my left and top edge. And now we're dividing by 2. So I need to label one of these sides as 2. Notice the only reason I'm labeling the left side as 2 and not the top side as 2 is so it fits on this page. If you have another piece of paper and you want to label the top as 2, you could do that. Okay, and now we need to build our rectangle. And now you can see why I started so far over to the left. Okay, now we need to label the top of our thing here, and I'm going to have to add a bit more line here to be able to label the top of my rectangle. So that length is x, that length is x, and that length is x. And my answer is going to be the side I just labeled. Right there. So 6x divided by 2 is going to equal 3x. And again, you guys should be pausing the video and drawing in where those tiles used to be for your notes. Okay, next one, C. 4x plus 8. So we're going to start by counting out 4x plus 8. So 4, 6, 8. Pretty sure that's 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep, and there's my 4x. Okay, so I've counted out my tiles. 4x plus 8. Now I'll scooch them out of the way here so I can do my left and top edge. Oops. There we go. Okay, and we need to label one of the sides as 2 because we're dividing by 2. So there's 1 and another 1. Alright, and now I need to build a rectangle. Okay, there's my rectangle where one of the sides is 2. Need to label the top edge now. That's x. That's x. There's 1, 1, 1, and 1. Okay, pull that out of the way. Finish drawing in my top edge there. There we go. And my answer is going to be the side I labeled up here. So I've got 2x and 4, so 4x plus 8 divided by 2 is going to be 2x plus 4. And again, you guys should draw in, pause the video and draw in where those tiles used to be. Okay, last one, 3x minus 6. Okay, there's my 3x. There's my 6. But I need to make that negative. So these guys need to be negative 6. Okay, step 1 done. Step 2, left and top edge. And this time we're dividing by 3. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's step 2 done. Now I need to build my rectangle. Oops. There we go, there's my rectangle. That's going to be an x. Ooh, now we have to be careful because these are red. So if I put a 1 here, I get 1 times 1 equals 1, which isn't true. This equals negative 1. So I need to put in a negative 1 here so that 1 times negative 1 equals negative 1. And same thing there. Okay, there we go. So my answer is x minus 2. Okay, and just to remind you guys about how this stuff works with the charts, I'm going to do this one as a chart with the highlighter again, the same as I did on the last video. Those are negative, and those are all extra. Don't know why I drew all those in. Okay. So if we're going to do this with the chart, we need to remember the first thing we always start with is counting out the tiles. Well, where are the tiles here? They're in this part here. So I'd start out by counting out 3x and negative 6. Okay, and then I'm going to divide by 3, so I'm going to put a 3 there. And now I need to look at this and go, something times 3 needs to equal 3x. well, that's going to be x. And something times 3, or something times 3 has to equal negative 6. That's going to be negative 2. So that's how we can get x minus 2 as our answer using the chart and not the tiles. So let's try that on the next page. So step 1, we need to count out the tiles. You remember the tiles go here, and I'd need to count out 4x plus 6, so I'm going to put them here. 4x plus 6. I can put a plus in there, but I don't need to. Now I'm dividing by 2. You remember the side length we were dividing by went over here. And now we've got something times 2 needs to equal 4x. That's going to be 2x. And something times 2 needs to equal 6. That's going to be 3. So our answer is 2x plus 3. Don't forget to pause the video and rewind if you feel like I'm going too fast. Okay, next one. Start with our tiles. The tiles we'd use on this one are 2x plus 16, or sorry, 12x plus 16. So this is where the tiles would go if we were using algebra tiles. Thankfully, we don't have to count out 12 French fries and 16 little white ones. And then we're dividing by negative 4. Something times negative 4 equals 12x. That's going to be negative 3x. And something times negative 4 equals 16. That's going to be negative 4. So my answer is negative 3x minus 4. Okay, as I mentioned on the last video, I'm never going to give you guys these charts. So I always do this where I force myself to guess where the top of that is. Anyways. Only ever really need to do 3 boxes. That's where the tiles are going to go. I got 15y squared, 24xy, and 6x. And we're going to divide by 3. So something times 3 has to equal 15y squared. It's going to be 5y squared. Something times 3 is going to have to equal 24x squared. That's going to be, or sorry, 24xy. So that'll be 8xy. And 2x times 3 is going to equal 6x. So my answer is 5y squared plus 8xy plus 2. Oh, sorry, 2x. And double check that's in the right order. Y times y is 2 variables, x times y is 2 variables, so these are both degree 2. That's only degree 1, so it should go last. Good. Okay, and most of you have probably figured out, same as last time, that all we're doing is dividing on top by the bottom. So in this case, I'd need to divide 14x by 7. It's going to give me 2x, and I have to divide 21 by 7 is 3. In this case, we don't want to draw any lines or anything like that. It's just kind of messy. Okay, and b equals the line above. 18x squared divided by negative 6 is going to be negative 3x squared. 6xy divided by negative 6 is going to be negative xy. You guys can also write negative 1xy there if you like. Negative 24x divided by negative 6 is going to be positive 4x. 12y divided by negative 6 is going to be negative 2y. And negative 6 divided by negative 6 is going to be positive 1. Double check the order. Degree 2, degree 2, degree 1, degree 1, degree 0. Good. So those are in decreasing order of degree. Okay, there's your assignment. Notice you guys need to do page 246 for ACD, and then just do 6x minus 9 over 3 with tiles. So you want to draw the diagram for that the same as we did on the first page.